How does that line go in the famous Frank Sinatra song, New York, New York? I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sweep. Look at this trash. I walk past this on my way to the office every day. Never seems to get cleaned up. And it's just a block or two from Rockefeller Plaza, where the ice skating happens every Christmas. This is 48th Street in Midtown Manhattan. Now, to be fair to the city, a burgeoning population and ever-increasing tourist numbers make it very difficult to keep this level of trash down. But it's certainly a very visual sign of dirty New York. And trash is a major issue on New York's mass transit system, too. And where there's trash, there's vermin. It is said that in New York City, you're never more than 7 feet away from a rat, wherever you are. And if you actually want to see one, all you have to do is peer onto the tracks in the subway. But dirt in New York is not just about eyesores where the tourists go. It's about the impact on low-income communities where the people who keep this city running actually live. For Brenda White, garbage literally rains down on the lawn outside her ground floor apartment, far away from Manhattan, in the Bronx, tossed out of the window by residents on higher floors.
Bottles, Pampers, mice on traps that's still alive, whatever, you name it. It comes out the window.
But it gets thrown out?
Yeah. You can hear it. When it drops, it makes a sound. Like when my friends come over, my family, and they hear a boom. Don't worry, that's garbage.
Brenda says her apartment's infested with water bugs too, and she hates creepy crawlies. Community Voices Heard is a non-profit in Harlem that helps low-income families with housing issues.
Clearly we're biased, but New York City is one of the greatest cities in the world, and clearly this is a great state.
But Afia Atamensa says almost 500,000 people live in New York public housing, and many apartments are not fit to live in.
We have many buildings and units that are frankly deteriorating, and deteriorating at a rapid rate.
The governor of New York State recently toured some of New York's public housing in the Bronx and declared it the worst he'd ever seen.
It's like a bad Dickens novel. You have the heat still going on and off. You have children living with asthma in units with mold. This is New York City. This is not a third world country.
The New York City Public Housing Authority, NYCHA, is the largest of its kind in North America. Afia Atamensa says systemic underfunding by federal, state and even local government over 40 years means the rot has set in.
You know, normal things happen like rain, and when it rains, it affects the roofs, and we have, sadly, many members and many NYCHA residents across this great city who now have mold in their apartment. Mold is a serious problem in a lot of NYCHA developments.
Well, my floor, you see my floor is messed up. That's number one.
And mold is a problem for 80-year-old Hattie Ellison, who's lived in her 15th floor Bronx apartment since 1971. She raised her kids here and loves her home, but one day water from the 19th floor above flooded her place. She says her health has not been quite the same since.
I just get where I can't hardly breathe, and I can feel like something in my throat. But I've been taking, the doctor told me I had an allergy. I never had an allergy before, never, And except young, I don't have asthma, I never had asthma, but she said I got an allergy, so I take allergy medicine.
Back on the ground floor, Brenda walks with a cane. She put her back out when she fell in this flooded corridor outside her apartment.
Now step on it, the lines.
Brenda says she's depressed living here amid the trash and the water bugs and would like out. Though one good thing to come out of her injury, she taught herself to draw friends and family, a skill she didn't know she had till her accident.
Frankly, there's a moral issue here, right? Like, in this city that's, we would say, trying to be a progressive bastion in the nation, to have a sizable amount of the population who are living in conditions that everybody would agree is deplorable, right? If we take the New York City Housing Authority's numbers, 450,000 people live in public housing here in New York City, right? That's about the size of the city of Boston. That's a large number of folks who are living in horrible conditions for no reason, no fault of their own, other than government has decided to disinvest.
People come from all over the world to New York. Those who visit see the iconic sights and mostly don't notice the trash on the ground, nor the housing conditions in which many who serve them actually live. But once you scratch beneath the surface just a little bit, maybe the title America's Dirtiest City is justified after all. And the Big Apple has a core that is ripe for a cleanup. John Terrett, CGTN, New York.